The MadDawg Show is proudly sponsored by Griffin Lumber and Hardware, The Sanford Company, ASP Pool Company, Bib Distributing, Butler Automotive, Sellers Construction, Peach Services, Pelicano Construction, The Dog Bone, Go Clean Co., Macon Monogramming, Bulldog Illustrated, and Walthall Oil. And now, here he is, the MadDawg.
All right, well, welcome back to the MadDawg Show. This is show 2 in the new podcast studio, show 1 with an in-house guest, and we're thrilled to have, finally in-house, Mark Schlabach from ESPN. If you haven't seen him on the show before, Mark is a New York Times best-selling author. I believe, is it 17 times over?
Bestseller?
Bestseller.
If that was the case, I wouldn't be sitting here. I got a few.
He's had a few.
17.
He's too humble. You may have seen his books on Duck Dynasty, on Bobby Bowden. He's just come out with a new book on David Pollock, which we will get into in a second. He also is full-time with ESPN. He covers the PGA and he covers college football. And I've often said that is pretty much the dream job.
Yeah, no, it's you can't beat going to a college football stadium or a college town on Saturdays, and then the summer, just getting to cover the majors. I'll be going to the Ryder Cup in a few weeks. So if you had asked me 30 years ago, what would you want to be doing with your journalism career, that would be it. So,
let's talk PGA. You're around these guys all the time. Are you first-name basis with most of them?
Yeah, with a lot of them. The great thing, I only been covering it for 3 or 4 years, and I don't go to as many tournaments as other guys, like the Golf Channel guys or AP guys, but they all just want to talk about college football.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was at Caves Valley outside Baltimore for the BMW Championship the week before the Tour Championship, and I never really talked to, now his name's going to escape me, to one of the guys, and Brian Harmon said, man, you should really talk to him. He's a really cool guy, and he's a huge college football fan. He's got an NFL podcast. Lo and behold, he's a Miami fan, so for like the next 30 minutes, we're talking Carson Beck.
Right.
Andrew Novak.
Yeah.
Great guy.
Yeah.
Went to Wofford of all places,
Uh-huh.
but is a Miami fan. And so, he was asking me about Beck and all this other stuff. But yeah, really. Harmon, Henley, JT, Brant Snedeker, huge SEC football fan.
Harris English,
huge Georgia guy.
Right.
Those guys absolutely love talking about college football.
So they're like me. They're quizzing you, going beyond Georgia football, because your knowledge is so deep on everybody. So, if you were going to say, Georgia aside, who are your top teams that you expect to do really well this year?
I still think Texas, LSU, Georgia, and Alabama are the top teams in the SEC, despite Alabama's loss to Florida State the first week. I saw LSU week 1 against Clemson. Was really, really impressed with their $18 million defense.
Right.
Patrick Payton, kid from Florida State, Jack Pyburn, transfer from Florida, have really helped them. They picked up Bernard Gooden, a transfer from USF in the middle, who's a really good player. And that's allowed them to play more press coverage in the back end because they're actually getting some pressure on the quarterback. Whit Weeks is a baller. His brother, I think, was their leading tackle the other night against Louisiana Tech. So really impressed with them. Nussmeier, I think, is the best quarterback in the league. Probably the top draft prospect in the league, I would think. And, they looked really good against Clemson. Bama, I think, obviously bounced back and beat the hell out of nobody, but they get Wisconsin this week off, and then Georgia. So huge 3-week stretch for Kalen DeBoer. I think the guy's a good football coach. Whether or not it's the right fit, we'll find out. The concern is once it goes south at a place like that,
right? It
goes south in a hurry. You lose the fan base, you're done, whether they owe him $60 million or not. Texas, I still think Arch is good. I think the hype was ridiculous.
Right.
We were at a summit in Bristol a few weeks before the season, and Ryan McGee and I were sitting in the back of the meeting, and we got a breakout session for Arch Manning ideas. And I was like, should we let him play a game first?
Yeah.
And McGee texted me at halftime of the Ohio State game. He's like, remember those two old guys sitting in the back of the room saying, show a little patience?
Yeah.
And let's not annoy him, the next Heisman Trophy winner, just yet. But he's going to be fine. I mean, that was like the worst opener, first career start you could ever ask for against the defending national champions in the horseshoe.
Yeah.
With that defense, in Georgia, we'll see.
Yeah, Georgia's been kind of lackluster, and as I've been kind of telling people, Bama's the rumors of their demise have been exaggerated, and the Bama team that showed up to play FSU in Tallahassee probably won't remotely resemble the team that shows up in Athens. A lot of that's going to have to do with the fact that they're going to have Miller back at running back. I bet the line on that is probably real tight. And jumping over to lines real quick, the line for Georgia-Tennessee opened at 7.5, and it's plummeted to 3.
3?
Yeah.
Kirby's got him right where he wants him.
Yeah, he does. I think that they're probably going to have a tough week of practice, given how that game turned out, and having 5 plays inside the 1 and you can't score. What are your thoughts right now on Gunnar Stockton?
I watched Kirby's press conference today, Monday. It's not all on him.
Mm-hmm.
When you've got a 6'10" NBA power forward playing right tackle with no college football experience, it's going to be a swinging door. It was a swinging door.
Yeah.
The kid did not play well. They've got to get Juan Gaston and Ernest Green, the third back. I think they'll be back for Tennessee. He's hopeful they'll be back. I think Green's got a back, and Gaston's got ankle and a knee.
I think so.
Bruised,
yeah.
Maybe. If they get him back, those guys back, it will help him tremendously. I do think he's going through his progressions a little bit fast and then taking off and not trusting his line and not playing with instincts and not anticipating throws. I was talking to somebody over the weekend. Justin Fields went through this when he was at Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
The guy had to be absolutely wide open before he would throw it.
Right.
And I think Gunner's so worried about turning the ball over or getting sacked that he's taking off too early. He missed a couple wide open guys against Austin Peay. Missed Dylan Bell running down the middle of the field.
Yep.
Missed a guy on the right flat, I believe. So, look, he played last year, but it was a game and a half. So he's got to get more confident. They've got the horses at receiver to do it. Last year, I think they had a pretty good quarterback and no receivers. This year, they had a bunch of really good receivers they paid a lot of money for.
Right.
And the guy that hasn't got it to them yet.
Yeah. So just watching these last couple of weeks, there's some teams that look like they started out being anointed as contenders, and now they feel like they're more pretenders. Do you feel like Clemson is in the pretender category? Because I think that they're going to have a problem when they come play Tech.
Yeah, no, Tech's tough, especially if Haynes King's healthy. I saw him week 1, and I thought Klubnik was really going to take off this year, and he was not good at all. They lost Antonio Williams, their star receiver, to a hamstring injury early and never really seemed to get anything going down the field. Dabo, for whatever reason, has not been able to find a tailback.
Mm-hmm.
Adam Randall converted wide receivers their number 1 back. They got a freshman they really like. But, no, it's year 3 under Lincoln Riley's brother Garrett, and I thought they would be further along. But, LSU and Clemson both struggled last week, but Clemson hangover from losing.
Mm-hmm.
LSU probably still celebrating a little bit.
Right.
So it took both of them a while to get going.
All right, you mentioned Lincoln Riley, who's like the forgotten man now. Do you think that his buyout's still huge? He's got a new boss who's not the boss that hired him, which is not a great place to be. Do they even care enough about football at USC to try and get rid of him? Because I don't see them being better than 6-6.
Yeah, I have not watched them at all yet.
Seems like nobody has.
Yeah, that says a lot. New AD, new president. I know the AD wants to be competitive in the Big Ten. They went out and spent more money in the portal to try to get competitive. So I don't know. It's been one of the great mysteries why. You know, he was good at Oklahoma. He could never win the playoffs.
Right.
They scored a ton of points and had some Heisman Trophy winners, and they can't even score at USC.
I mean, I feel like a case can be made that he kind of runs from competition. He saw Oklahoma was going to the SEC, bolted to USC. Now he thought he was going to dominate the Pac-12. Now they're in the Big Ten. He's not doing anything there. It's like, is the next spot for him like a coordinator in the NFL? Because that seems like that would fit him.
That's what Kingsbury did.
Right.
Yep. Kingsbury.
Yeah.
He would, as bad as USC is, UCLA's worse.
Yeah, exactly. And by the way, anybody who wants to talk bad about Georgia for not playing a marquee name, you know, we did have UCLA on the schedule before everything got realigned.
Yeah.
Back when we thought they might be good. All right, here's a team that intrigues me. And they have looked, to me, better than anybody else I've seen. I want to get your opinion. That is the Oklahoma Sooners and Mateer at quarterback.
Yeah. Now, I give Brent Venables a lot of credit. Probably was on the hot seat coming into the year. They figured out the defense. They've been good on defense the past couple of seasons, which isn't a surprise given his pedigree. But
right.
Went out and got John Mateer from Washington State, hired his offensive coordinator, Ben Arbuckle. Mateer is, I heard Reese Davis earlier today describe him as Johnny Depp holding the flag on top of the ship. He's just going to let it swing. You know, he would have been the perfect Mike Leach quarterback.
Yep.
Not afraid to swing it and take chances, not afraid to stand in the pocket.
Not afraid to run.
And take a shot.
Yeah.
And he can run. But their schedule is brutal. I mean, Arkansas was off to a 2-0 start.
Mm-hmm.
Their quarterback, Green, has looked phenomenal.
Right.
I think he's number 3 in the FBS in total offense right now. They just blew Arkansas State out of the building. 8 of their next 10 regular season games are against ranked opponents. You look at Oklahoma, I want to say every one of their SEC opponents is ranked.
Yeah.
I mean, that's whether there are 11 teams in the top 25 right now or 10.
Something insane like that.
I mean, and Vanderbilt's sitting there with Diego Pavia.
You can't just check the box and say that's a win when you see Vandy on the old scheduling.
Well, they scored 34 straight points against, who was it? Virginia Tech on Saturday.
Yeah.
And now they're running the ball with people other than Pavia, so they're even more dangerous.
I'm glad they're not on Georgia's schedule.
Clark, please done a hell of a job.
He has. All right, speaking of hot seats and tough schedules. Florida, then I got another one after that. But poor Billy Napier. I mean, this was the weekend to spit on people, I guess. Yeah. You got Jalen Carter, who I don't know if Dak spit on him first, but it doesn't matter. And then the spit in the Florida USF game. I mean, it cost him a game.
Brent Beth, I think was his name. I mean, it's just, look, it can't happen. If you look at that last drive, Gramatica misses the 58-yard field goal.
Right.
Florida takes over. It's 40-yard line.
Yeah.
Runs 2 pass plays and no gain, I think, and takes like 20 seconds off.
Yeah.
Kick it back to USF at the 11, pin them deep, and then you have a pass interference call, the spitting incident, automatic ejection, 15-yard penalty. I think they missed 3 tackles on a 24-yard gain, and then he hits another 12-yarder, and they're at the 20-yard line.
Yeah.
Ball game.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's what frustrates Florida fans. I think Billy's a good coach. I've defended Billy for a few years, but it's the undisciplined part.
Right. And I agree with you. I think he is a good coach, and he seems by every measure to just be a stand-up guy to the point where I, as a Georgia fan, actually feel sorry for him for what he's having to do.
Their schedule, they in Arkansas, it's like the SEC office had it out for them.
Right.
It's so hard, much harder than everybody else.
Well, speaking of people who have a hard schedule and whose coach is on the hot seat, Hugh Freeze. That Baylor win was huge for them.
I was very, very impressed with the Baylor win. And then Baylor came back and beat SMU in overtime on Saturday to help back it up. But, they got Eric Singleton. They've got Cam Coleman. They got Horatio Fields from Wake Forest. Fields and Singleton, they picked up out of the transfer portal. Singleton was really good at Georgia Tech. Jackson Arnold has played well running the ball.
Yep.
Still not throwing it down the field. I think I saw today he's averaging like 3.7 yards an attempt on 3rd and 4th down,
Right.
which is a problem. Defensively, I think they're better, but we'll find out a lot in 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah. I don't want to go over there and play them and all the voodoo they've got associated with Jordan Hare.
17 out of 20.
Yep.
It's a shocker.
You start having big numbers like that. It's like the law of large numbers.
I mean, 8-game winning streak over Tennessee.
Right.
They're not going to lose to you 30 times in a row.
Exactly.
Did Kirby ever beat him in college when he was a player?
Don't ask me trick questions. I don't know.
I think he's only lost to him once.
Yeah.
As a coach.
Yeah. All right, I want to flip back to something you mentioned, which is the Ryder Cup. Tell us what that's going to look like for you and just in general.
I'm not complaining. We're staying at JFK Airport, so it's an hour and a half each way on a shuttle bus, which is fine. But it's going to be rowdy. It's going to be a hell of a scene at Bethpage Black. I was there for the PGA Championship when Koepka held off Dustin Johnson. It's a brutal course. It's rough this thick. It's going to be even thicker this time.
Mm-hmm.
I walked 18 holes with John Daly during that tournament because he was riding a cart. He had like a 96-ounce McDonald's Coke and 2 packs of Marlboro Reds.
Was there anything in that Coke besides the Coke itself?
I just remember some kid asked Daly, he was walking because of arthritis, or he was riding because of arthritis in his knee. And some kid said, "Mr. Daly, how's your knee feeling?" And he said, like shit, and just kept walking. It's like a 9-year-old kid. Wow. But I remember on my steps, it was like 8.2 miles.
Wow.
To walk that sucker because there's so much space between the tee boxes and the greens.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just a massive piece of property.
Right.
And the fans are going to be rowdy.
What is that again?
It's the weekend of the Georgia-Bama game.
Wow. Okay. Whole family going to go?
No. That's the Hamptons. It's expensive.
Gotcha. So do you have any kids left at Georgia?
No.
You've graduated too?
Two daughters have graduated. The son is to be determined.
Gotcha. And how old is he?
Junior in high school.
So you literally live, am I allowed to disclose where you live?
You can say Athens suburbs.
He lives deep in the Athens suburbs in one of my favorite towns in the world.
Greatest small town in America.
Yep. So
Bogart, Georgia.
Say that again?
Bogart, Georgia.
Bogart, Georgia. Ish.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm jealous of where you live. I'm jealous of what you do for a living. I mean, you're living the dream.
I mean, look, it's fun, but I'm 52 and I'm not 35 anymore. And if you look at any of my stories in the last couple of days, they actually changed my headshot.
They did?
They took away my 22-year-old photograph, put up one with me with gray hair and a few more pounds. My wife said she liked the other one better.
Sure.
But yeah, look, it's fun, but it's a grind. I mean, it's been a grind for a few years. Going like 2 weeks ago, I went from Tour Championship was over Sunday, did 7 days at the Tour Championship, and then Ryder Cup announcements Wednesday. Took Thursday off in Georgia.
Yeah.
College football started Friday.
Well, one of the things that my father-in-law said to me once that has always stuck with me, he said, in the business world, one of the most critical skills that you can acquire, if you can acquire it, is the ability to express yourself well in writing. And so you take that to a whole other level. And so anybody out there, listening, if you think about just trying to write an email, and get across your point, it's not easy. And so what you do is like that to the nth degree when you talk about sitting down. I mean, even to write the articles you write on ESPN.com, they're just, it's got to be hard. And I know you're like a machine and you just bang those out, but then you take it to a whole nother level when you write these books. So I guess let's talk about your latest project with
Pollock.
Yeah.
Every Day Counts. It's coming out in March 2026. Finished it a few weeks ago. Just basically, David, I've known David since he was a sophomore in high school.
Okay.
I can remember when Jim Donna got fired, he called me and said, "What should I do?" And of course, I said go to Notre Dame, being a Notre Dame. But we worked together at ESPN, and I always thought it was one of the greatest ironies that David went into media because he hated the media so much when he was in college. Like, I still rip him and tell him to his face, "You were the worst athlete I ever covered at Georgia."
Right.
And he'll tell you he was, because he was combative. If you would ask for him post practice, he would deliberately stay in the locker room for like an hour, hoping you would leave. And I had 2 little girls at home, was trying to get home for dinner with my wife and my kids, but I wouldn't leave. I was not leaving the standoff.
Right.
And it would go on and on. But we ended up, when he went to ESPN, we became friends. And, just respect who he is. And I mean, this is a dude that never had alcohol, never used tobacco, gave up carbonated drinks in high school because read an article about, or he would never read, saw something on TV about Leah Ham giving up carbonated drinks or some soccer player during the Women's World Cup. So he gave up carbonated drinks in high school and has never had one since. That tells you about his discipline. He gave up sugar like 20 years ago.
I don't understand that world.
I offered him a TikTok the other night, and he looked at me like I was Chinese or something. I was like, but I mean, that's his discipline.
Right.
And it's his memoir, breaking his neck, coming back from that, motivational stuff, obviously some really fun Georgia stuff in there as well.
Yeah.
Some locker room stories I've never heard that are kind of a little juicy.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously the situation with his wife, Lindsay, who's doing really well after post-surgery for a brain tumor. So, a lot of faith, a lot of motivational stuff. I think it's one of the better ones I've done, hopefully.
So how long is it? I mean, how much, when you're doing that, how much FaceTime do you have to spend with that person to be able to, come up with all of your notes?
Yeah.
To then go, away from them, take those notes, and then collate that into a book.
David. David. It varies subject to subject, but
right.
David was going through the situation with Lindsay, so we would talk from and plus he coaches his daughter's basketball team, he coaches his son's football team. He's an assistant coach at North Dakota High School. So we would talk from 9:30 to 10:30 at night, 4 nights a week or something. I'm like, dude, I'm 52. I go to bed at 9. But he, that's when we would do it. I remember when I was doing the Duck Dynasty guys, Phil Robertson, I sat in his living room for a week straight, left and wrote the book, and I don't think he ever read it. I mean, I think Cy was probably the same way.
You said, I think you told me that Cy was actually your best-selling of the Duck Dynasty books.
Yeah, Phil's first one, probably Phil and Cy, and they were pretty competitive with each other. I did a second book for Cy, so Phil called me the next day and said, let's do another one. So I did them all.
I hated it when Pollock left ESPN because I thought he was one of the best guys on there. He was definitely fair to Georgia, if not on the other side of that.
Got criticized for it.
Right. He got criticized for that, but they keep people who claim that they're not biased, but
I'm not going down this road.
But maybe they cry when their team wins the national championship. I'm just saying, I think that, does Pollock still feel like, he may do something more in media? I know he recently, didn't he sign a deal to do, did he have his own podcast?
He's got his own podcast.
Yeah.
Obviously, anybody can have one.
Exactly. It's true.
Yeah, See Ball, Get Ball. Is that what it is? Yeah, See Ball, Get Ball. He does another podcast, Family Matters, with his pastor.
That's right. That's what I was thinking about.
Yeah, he's got a football one that he does multiple days a week. I don't know. I don't know that he'll go back into TV. He's been out for a couple of years. He's told me, and I hate to speak for him, but with his kids being at home and not being there for much longer, if somebody wants him on TV, they're gonna have to come fly. They're gonna have to fly in Friday night after high school football game and pick him up and bring him back Saturday night.
Right. Yeah.
Because his family's his priority.
Sure.
At this point.
Absolutely. Makes perfect sense. I'm going to do something that would go against Cass, I think, and say, can we talk about Tech again? Because their schedule sets up very favorably. And if they beat Clemson, they could show up at the Benz against Georgia undefeated.
You know, I have not had a chance to see them play yet. I just know that during the Tour Championship, I was going to the Braves game, so I stayed in Atlanta for the night and got a hotel room down by Truist Park, and had about an hour and a half to kill. Just flipping through the channels, and Tech Georgia was on. And Tech was up 17-0.
Yeah,
I completely forgot Tech was up 17-0.
Yeah.
I was at the game. I
Yeah.
completely forgot about it, and then sat there for the next hour and missed half the baseball game, rewatching the football game.
it was epic. It was one for the
It was
ages.
epic. I mean, Tech should have won like 5 times.
Right.
And if Buster Faulkner just runs Haynes King 4 straight times,
Mm-hmm.
they win. I love Haynes King. He's been banged up. His dad just had cancer surgery last week. I think he's going to do okay. They lost Singleton, like I mentioned. Haynes, the running back's back. He's tough for his size. Really good on the offensive line.
But did you see their schedule?
I'm blind, so I can't see.
Here, I can pull it
I mean, they got Temple this week, Wake Forest on the road, Virginia Tech at home, Brent Pryde's in trouble. At Duke, still going to be tough. Duke got railroaded by, not railroaded, got run over by Illinois.
Right.
Illinois is really good. Syracuse at home. Fran is rebuilding. NC State on the road is going to be tough.
Right. But, I mean, all very winnable
Boston
games.
College, Pitt, Georgia, and Atlanta.
But it's not a stretch to see them running
No.
that table.
I said I had them 10-2 was my preseason prediction.
Yeah.
I mean, I love Brent Key. Tough as nails.
Right.
Damn good football coach. Love the way they, he's got the offensive lineman mentality. We're going to run the ball. We're going to pound you. We're going to impose our will. He's a lot like Kirby.
Right.
He thinks we're going to out-physical you. And I think those Georgia kids will tell you last year, that was the most physical game they played all year.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a bloodbath.
It really was. Did you stay for the whole thing?
Yeah, I had to.
Yeah.
Black Friday.
I didn't, but I did.
Yeah.
And I couldn't believe what I was watching. I mean, I was just like you said, Tech could have won that game 5 times. I kept expecting them to win of just walk-off.
Yep.
But the ball just fell our way. Of course, the Tech fans like to, they'll never let go that Dirty Dan Jackson targeted Haynes King when he used his helmet to knock the ball out, which I don't think that necessarily.
Georgia misses him.
Oh, of course they do. Now, let me ask you this, because you started to go there. If, in your opinion, Dirty Dan comes in, uses his helmet to knock the ball loose, is that targeting?
Depends where he hit the face mask, didn't he?
No. He was right down here.
Or was it?
Yeah.
He lowered his head.
Yeah. He lowered his head and he hit the ball.
No, it's a football play.
That's what I think. See, Tech fans, I was being nice to you, but, you always want to bring that up when you see me. So I wanted to have an expert weigh in on whether or not that was targeting, and clearly it's not.
Expert who couldn't remember it. The Tech was up 17-0. He's supposed to remember the play.
Exactly.
I got to run to the Making Touchdown Club, David.
I got you. Well, I appreciate you stopping in and working some
Thanks
time
for
in
having
for me. Absolutely. Mark Schlabach, ladies and gentlemen, go out there, look for his books, look for the Pollock book coming out for this spring. And he's real easy to find on ESPN.com. He writes about college football just about every single day.
Yeah. Thanks, Chris Love. You left.
What's that?
Chris Love left.
Oh, but Dave Wilson's still there.
Yeah. The real Dave Wilson.
The one that I occasionally will get random texts
Yeah.
because you've mixed that up.
Exactly.
All right, I'm going to say something that he won't say, and that's go Dawg.
Sit around now from the city.